Poverty is a serious issue in many countries around the world. Countless people live with very little income, few opportunities, and struggle every day just to survive. It's easy to think that if people don't have enough money, the simple answer would be to just print more of it. Everyone would be rich and happy, right? But this idea, while it sounds simple, doesn't work in reality. So why don't governments just print more money? First, we need to understand what happens when new money's printed. If you ask adults, they'll often say it leads to inflation. Inflation is when prices rise because there's more money, but the amount of goods and services stays the same. Our economy is based on supply and demand. When there's a lot of supply and not much demand, prices go down. But when supply is low and demand is high, prices go up, and that's inflation. When inflation becomes extreme, it's called hyperinflation. Let's look at a simple example to understand this better. Imagine a loaf of bread costs $5. There are 5 people: Bob, John, Alex, Jack, and Tony. Each has $5, and there are 5 loaves of bread. Everyone buys 1 loaf. Now suppose the government gives everyone another $5 so they each have $10. But the bakery still only has 5 loaves. Now each person wants to buy 2 loaves, but there aren't enough. The bakery realizes people can pay more, so they raise the price to $10 per loaf. In the end, everyone still only gets 1 loaf, but they pay twice as much. So printing more money didn't actually make people richer. The bakery might seem richer at first, but soon they have to pay more for wheat because other bakeries also have more money and are competing for wheat. Wheat farmers can't suddenly grow more, so prices rise. As wheat becomes more expensive, bakeries must raise bread prices again. Without more goods and services, printing money just leads to higher prices and less valuable money. It's easy to think no country would ever print money recklessly, but history shows that some did, and it ended in disaster. One example is Germany in the 1920s, after World War I. The German Empire had collapsed, and the Weimar Republic was born. The country was in ruins, with damaged infrastructure and chaos everywhere. On top of that, Germany was forced to pay heavy war reparations. The government was desperate, so it started printing money to pay off its debts. But this caused prices to skyrocket. By late 1923, prices were doubling every few hours. People needed wheelbarrows full of cash just to buy simple things like bread. For example, a loaf of bread that cost 250 marks in January 1923 jumped to 200 billion marks by November. This hyperinflation destroyed people's savings and created social unrest, which later helped extremist movements rise. Another example is Zimbabwe in 2007. Zimbabwe, once called Rhodesia, faced big problems after apartheid ended. The government, led by Robert Mugabe, took land from white farmers and gave it to black farmers. Unfortunately, many of these new farmers had little experience, so food production fell sharply. Unemployment rose, and international sanctions made things worse. To deal with the crisis, the government printed more money. But this led to hyperinflation. By 2008, Zimbabwe's inflation rate reached an unimaginable 89.7 sextillion% per year. The Zimbabwean dollar became worthless, and people carried huge stacks of cash just to buy basics like eggs. Prices could double in hours. These examples show that printing money without increasing the amount of goods and services only destroys the economy and creates chaos. It turns money into something almost worthless, no matter how much of it people have. Another example is Venezuela in 2016. Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world, even bigger than Saudi Arabia. For years, Venezuela made a lot of money from selling oil. Instead of using this money to grow industries and strengthen the economy, the government gave out many subsidies and kept prices very low to make people happy. The government controlled industries and didn't allow private companies to grow. Everything seemed fine until oil prices collapsed after 2008. Venezuela, depending almost entirely on oil, lost most of its income. The government didn't want to stop subsidies, as that would upset the people. So it began printing more money to keep subsidies going. This led to hyperinflation. Prices soared, the currency lost all value, and people were left with money that couldn't buy anything. Some people even threw their money on the streets because it had become useless. So why don't governments just print money to pay foreign debts? When a country prints more money, it's quickly noticed by other countries, currency markets, and economic reports. Even if the money's only used to pay off foreign debt, the total money supply still increases. This lowers the value of the currency and reduces trust from foreign lenders. Creditors won't accept devalued money because it shrinks the value of repayments. They see it as worthless or toy money, and the country's reputation and stability suffer. The real solution is creating value. Governments need to invest in education, build infrastructure, support technology, help businesses grow, and manage resources wisely. When production increases alongside demand, prices stay stable. This creates jobs, improves living standards, and keeps the economy healthy. Countries like Japan and South Korea followed this path and became successful. Money has value only when it can buy goods and services. In the end, you can't eat money. If there's no bread, the money becomes useless. Thanks for watching InvestingFlix. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and drop a comment below. For more expert insights on personal finance, investing, and wealth building, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out.